Welcome guys back to another lecture in our color scheme section. So in this one we're going to be looking at analogous colors. We're going to be talking about what it is and how it is used. So what is it? So analogous colors is groups of three colors that are right next to each other on the color wheel. One color usually being the dominant, and this is most generally speaking a primary or secondary color, which is primary being yellow, red, blue, and secondary being purple, green, and orange. So one of these colors is generally the dominant one, and the other two that are on each side is one that complements it, or tertiary as we like to say. And now this type of scheme creates a rich and monochromatic look to it. And this works well with a lot of warm or cool colors, never mixing the two, always keeping them almost separate, but this analogous color scheme works well with those in general. So how is it used? Well, it is more practical to use this color scheme with warm and cool colors like I said previously, and this helps create a temperature, a color harmony. And this color scheme is more often than not seen in nature. So if we take a look, let's say at our color scheme on the right, we see our warm colors at the top working well with each other, and then right under that starting to see, our cool colors starting to blend together. And you can see, for example, let's say looking at yellow and green, this would be great for, let's say, a nature setting, or looking at even red, which was red, orange, and light red, orange. This would be great for, let's say, a sunset style feeling. So as you can see, these colors work really well in different settings. So obviously when creating your color scheme for your game or your color palette for whichever scene you want to use, it's always important to know what's going to work well with what you want to showcase to the player. Although obviously it's easy to say, yeah, obviously I'm going to use, red for, let's say, a sunrise, but depending on which shade of red could showcase different images and basically really emphasize on what the player will actually feel. If we pertain to our previous section and we looked at, the different variations of red and their meanings behind them, you can see that, really learning what they all mean in the shades term and then applying that to our color scheme really makes and impacts what the player feel from what you give them. So it is more richer look than a monochromatic feel. Obviously monochromatic is, let's say, one hue and different types of tones, shades, and tints. But this scheme lacks color contrast in comparison to complementary. So because all the colors are pretty much all right next to each other, you're only going to get that warm or cool temperature style feel to it. Looking at our first image, where the whole scene is basically analogous, so it's all different shades of blue or different blues that are going to be on the left side to each other. And then looking at our bottom right scene, which is another game that uses this more neon tint to it, but emphasizes more of, let's say, a darky and more cyberpunk feel to it. So these type of color schemes are great for whatever type of style or genre you want to use in your game. But also keep in mind that you won't get that strong comparison. You're always going to pretty much have that same tone throughout the whole entire time that you use that scheme. And that's it, guys, for this little lecture. And I'll see you guys in the next one.